Hey guys, so what we're going to do about Quinton de Kock, I thought that that would be an interesting topic to talk about today, seeing that there's no media day today. There was no media that happened today. Nothing took place today with regards to media days and interviews and all of those type of things. So I thought that we need to talk about Quinton today. Let's talk about that leading into the next game. We know we have a couple of days until the next game, which starts on Sunday. We will do obviously a preview show of this for tomorrow, and we will talk in depth about the second T20, what we'd like to see. But today is going to be about Quinton de Kock, the top order, and just seeing what you guys have to say in the live chat. But before we get going, before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please don't forget to click that notification bell for all future videos as well. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, and share. And also, don't forget to download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. You can also help us grow and build South African cricket. And by doing that and promoting South African cricket, you can get involved with the Patreon account. It will help us as well as a company to be able to produce more content and better content moving forward. So please get involved with the Patreon account. That keeps the lights on, guys. So please help me keep the lights on. And then go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. Without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Looking forward to chatting to the live chat today and you guys to see what you guys have to say about this particular. A very good evening. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show, your fan Q&A session. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. And I also ask you guys, answer your guys' questions that you asked me in the live chat. Based on the performance in recent times, Quinton de Kock has been under scrutiny. We know that a lot of us believe in him. I 100% believe in him as a player and what his ability is and what he can do. We know that he is quite an effective player that can really be an X factor player and take a game away from you. Of course, that's what we expect from a guy like Quinton de Kock. It's something that we've been waiting for quite some time because we haven't necessarily seen the performance that we were hoping for from Quinny over of his career in recent times. So it does make it a little bit tricky for us as a fan base to sit behind him and support him, especially when there are other informed players that you could say to deserve to be in this 11, especially at the top of the order. Now, when we look at Quinton de Kock's stats, and it's something that we need to look at because he is obviously supposed to be our best opener and our number one opener. And that will obviously determine who's going to open with him at the World Cup was always a conversation that we've been having consistently. But when you look at his form in recent times, which I'm putting up on the screen right now for you guys, going back, let's start from the recent times. We've got the 28th September. Then we've got on the 5th of August, 7, 7, 0, 15, 2. Then he did not bat in Bangalore. Then 14, 22, 34, 16, 12, 7. Then he went on that pair of 250s in a row against Sri Lanka. And then before that, there was a dip over there as well. You could see in the 30s and 20s. And then he had a good run of form again with 3 half centuries on the trot. Then was off form. So we can see that it's been consistent, this up and down form. But when we look at his form overall, this is the longest dry spell that I've seen Quinton de Kock face in T20 cricket. It's 13 innings now, or 12 innings if you don't count that did not bat one. 12, 13 innings is without a half century for South Africa. So it's not something that we can necessarily be proud of as a nation when it comes to that top order spot, particularly for Quinton de Kock. But the problem doesn't lie just with Quinny. I mean, of course, if Quinton de Kock performs well, of course, if Quinny pulls his weight and he performs at the top of the order and puts in the performances that we know he can, it does take off a lot of pressure off the rest of the team. And we know that. We know that as a fan base. We know that we need Quinton de Kock to perform at the top of the order so that it takes off pressure off the rest of the people that are struggling. Now, that will also be helped by him having a solid opening partner. Now, it doesn't obviously help that he's had different opening partners during the spells as well. There's been Temba, there's been Aiden Markram, there's been Riza Hendricks. So there has been quite a few people that Quinny has opened with, but it's also been inconsistent with regards to his game time. So it does make it difficult for him to be consistent. But we need to obviously ask the questions. We want South Africa to be able to play the most informed players leading into the World Cup. Now, looking at this particular series, it does seem that Temba Bavuma is the player that they're going to look to play in. But I don't feel that that is fair on someone like Riza Hendricks, who deserves to play because of his form. Temba hasn't necessarily shown his capabilities in T20 cricket. We can all agree on that. We know that his strike rate needs to be above 130. We want him to be able to strike the ball quite cleanly in the power play, and I'm hoping that, of course, that he can come right, because we need him to perform well. Because if they're going to continuously pick him, I'll rather have an inform and obviously Temba Bavuma playing well and performing well and batting well. Um, there's no point in us obviously getting upset over a selection that we have no control over. So we obviously want and hope for the best. But Quinton de Kock right now has been off form, and we're hoping that he can turn his form around. But the big question is, if Temba doesn't show form as well as Quinton doesn't show form before the warm up games happen, what are we going to do with our opening partnership? Because it has been a topic of discussion for quite some time. Our middle order has been pulling us out of trouble and taking us to victories more often than not. Rassie van der Dussen when he was fit, Aiden Markram, David Miller, Stubbsy. A lot of these guys have been Rally Rousseau have been pulling us out of trouble, and the top order hasn't been pulling their weight. So we need these two to come and perform and show what they're capable of. Right now, we don't have the likes of Yanaman in the mix, and we don't have any top order batter in the traveling reserves of this particular World Cup squad. So we need our players that are there to put on the runs and perform. So that's what we need from the players. Let's go into the live chat and see what you guys have to say about this particular discussion. We've got Ruban Lakanatan. He said SA should not be last minute decisions that will rock the team as last year's World Cup with taking the knee rule. So Bavuma should be the captain until this year World Cup is over. Khalid, the worrying part of me leading up to the World Cup is both of our openers bang out of form, putting pressure on the middle order. Yesterday we were 1 for 2, both Temba and Quinton Cock gone Aina, and it's true. And I said it a lot of times on this channel too. We need our opening partnership to at least get to 50 runs in the power play, at least 30 to 50 runs, at least put some runs on the board so that there's some cushion for the middle order to play with. Otherwise, they're coming in where the ball is doing all these wonders. The bowlers are, the tails are up in the air because they got early breakthroughs, and we have to fight through a difficult period again. We'll be hoping that our opening partners can see off the storm, put on some runs on the board, give a platform for a massive, impactful, powerful middle order to take over. That's what I'm hoping. Please smash the like button, everybody that is watching right now as well. My thing is that the past year partnership between Quinton de Kock and Temba Bavuma in T20s have been horrendous. We can't hide behind that. Yet Riza and leading run scorer in T20 hours in the bench, it seems to be fine. It's not fine. And I don't think anybody thinks it's fine, Lorenzo. And I know you've been saying it since yesterday, and you're just continuing the conversation today. And it's not fine. It's not right what is happening to Riza. It's not fair what's happening to Riza. And I agree. He should be playing. But for who it is, that is the question. For who should he come in for? Khalid, why so softness shown towards Bavuma's batting? I've never shown softness towards Bavuma's batting. I've admitted that he needs to improve his batting. I've admitted that he needs to improve his strike rate. I'm admitted that he hasn't shown anything as what I've seen in the past in T20 cricket. He needs to show what he's capable of, and he hasn't. And if he doesn't perform, then we shouldn't pick him because there's an informed player waiting as an opener on the bench that rightly has deserved his place in the top order. So they need to make a decision on this going forward. If Bavuma can't find his form, can't hit a couple of runs in this next two games, they're going to really have to start thinking about that top order, I feel. Same with Quinton de Kock. Bavuma always plays too much dot balls in power play that put too much pressure on the Kock. Um, You could say that, yes, and I agree. And he needs to find ways to rotate the strike, because before he used to understand Quinny quite well, and Quinny spoke about their partnership and what they that they have a good partnership and understanding. But we are not necessarily seeing it. But also, we haven't seen it consistently enough. There's been injuries to Quinny. There's been Quinny's been left out. There's been injuries to Quinny. There's also been injuries to Timber when he's been left out. So it doesn't necessarily happen for him. Quinton de Kock will come good. Just need to find out what's troubling him. And that's the hardest part, because we don't know. Quinton can't seem to buy a run in any game that he's playing currently in T20 cricket, whether it is domestically or for the country. So he's struggling all around. So I think it's a mental blockage, maybe perhaps that he's struggling with, that he needs to get over. He just needs to get through that threshold so we can see the Quinton that we all know and love. How did we miss Klaassen so very badly yesterday's match? He is the crisis man, pulled us out of many tough times. Very underrated player. Klaassen averaged 34 plus and 161 strike rate this year. And Klaassen has been a player for South Africa. He's been the one to take us out of trouble and pull us out of trouble consistently. So he's another player that has been in form as well that we can look at. But we all know that we would love to see Tristan Stubbs play every single game that he gets. We want to see him play as many games as possible. Hopefully, he doesn't go out the way he did in the previous game. But it was a lot of pressure to come in at the time that he did for Youngster and try to win a game for South Africa. Aiden fought hard and tried, and so did Wayne Parnell, but they just couldn't see it through. The Klaassen should open the innings for SA in power play. I don't think so. I think Klaassen would struggle with the moving ball just as everybody else would do, in my opinion. Shamsi shouldn't play. The pitches are responsive to bowlers in World Cup. It releases the pressure. Yeah, it's very tricky to understand the pitches in India currently. I mean, that first wicket wasn't necessarily the best of wickets. It was wasn't the best of batting wickets either. I mean, India's batters kind of struggled there too, and you needed to bat patiently to get your runs like KL Rahul did. You could see Sky showed a different sign, but that guy's is absolutely talented. But we need to understand and read the conditions right when we select our players and when we choose the game plan that we're going to go in with regards to the bat. Quinton de Kock interested in league, not CSA. That's the truth. We need to agree. I'm not sure about that because I don't think Quinny would play still. Quinny is a type of guy I feel that would have given up international cricket if he didn't feel that he wants to play it. I think it is hurting him that he can't get runs too. And I know he wants to, of course. Harley can't replace Quinton de Kock with Riza. Remember the last time both Riza and Temba opened, they played so many dot balls and put pressure. And I don't want to see an opening partnership of that either. We were complaining for many shows about putting ourselves in that predicament again of where we have two slow openers. But I know that the way Breeza performed in the previous series obviously gave hope to South Africans that he can also play an attacking game. So I think that's the reason why maybe people have swung a little bit more to Breeza opening with Timba because of that reason. But I also would like to see what Riza and Quinny can do as a partnership. That would be interesting to see. Markland should be captain in T20s, even if SA win the T20 World Cup, even if SA win the 20 World Cup. Harley, with what happened to Temba Bavuma in the auction and going unsold and Mark coming out and then backing his captain, do you really think he'll be dropped even for poor form continues? In my opinion, they handcuffed. I don't think they will drop him. That's the thing. That's the problem. That's why I want to try to spark conversations that are realistic on this channel, where we speak about what actually is going to happen. Because we can complain, we can moan, we can bitch, and we can say everything that we want to about the lineup and who we would want to see play and all of these things. But at the end of the day, it's what they put out in the middle and what they believe. So it would be better if we consider talking about how Bavuma can actually approach the game if they're going to continue selecting him, because there needs to be a change in the way he's approaching his innings at the moment. He hasn't been finding his form straight off the bat from the get-go and taking pressure off his opening partner. Marker, Hendricks, Rousseau, Muller, Klaassen, Stubbs, top six, says Raul Kutsia. Riza shouldn't have been dropped, especially after his recent form. Bavuma should come down the order, not the sort of opener who gives you that start. I don't see Bavuma batting anywhere else but in the opening with number 3 position. Down the order, I think he'll struggle even more. Gaurav says playing Temba is a liability. He's a good captain, but surely that's not the reason he should play. We have better players who are waiting to play. Who is that Bavuma man? He's the VIP and superstar who is the why can't he get dropped? He is MS Dhoni, Ricky Ponting. What's Pavuma's credentials as a player? I mean, as a domestic cricketer, he has a lot of credentials. So let's not disrespect him credentially when it comes to domestic cricket. Harley, can we stop playing the two spinners? These idiots are picking spinners in green pitches. Yes, they shouldn't be picking two spinners. I don't think understand why they did. I do feel that on these greener wickets that maybe Keshav Maharaj will be more effective to this hold the whole things at bay, because I feel that Shamsi is a wicket taker, and if he doesn't get wickets, he goes for a lot of runs. Whereas Keshav can maybe hold it in and play more consolidation role to try and throttle the opposition. And Gidi must play as well. I agree. He's the most skillful T20 bowler. We have a lot of difficult decisions to make, as you can see, guys. There's so many players that we can pick. We could actually pick a 13, 12, or 13 or 14 man team. Temba plays with slow strike rate and creates pressure on the others. Sometimes the cock gets out because of that. And that's something that I've spoken about before. We need to make sure that the openers complement each other. I feel that Temba needs to make sure that his focus is getting Quinton majority of the strike. But Quinton's form currently, I mean, the amount of times he's been dismissed in that manner, chasing outside the off stump and chopping on. It's crazy the amount of times he's done that. So I want to see an improvement with that from Quinton de Kock, because he keeps losing his wicket the same way. Um, Perhaps he's, I don't know what it is, guys. It's a block. If he comes off, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation right now. We would be pretty happy with whoever they pick with him, because Quinton de Kock takes the pressure off everybody. We can't wait. We can't win the World Cup with this opening pair, says Kani. I'm going to believe in them still. I'm going to believe that we can turn things around. Um, I mean, Temba hasn't also played a lot of cricket with his injuries, and yeah, we need to find a way for Quinny. Quinny needs to find a way to get back into form. It solves so much issues. Pretoria's batting and Parnell bowling will be perfect all rounder. Yeah, I would have actually gone with that. I would have actually gone with Dwayne and Wayne and dropped maybe one of the spinners. That's the side that I would have probably went with going into this particular match, because I feel that having a strong middle order like that, 7 8 with Parnell and Dwayne, and also what they offer with the ball, I feel is complementary, because um, Parnell offers that left arm variation and swing and amazing Yorkers, where Dwayne Pretorius is the wide Yorker, really makes it difficult for you to get momentum and play through the ball and smack the ball and get it airborne. So I would like to see both play. I mean, the two all-rounders in Australia will be deadly, I think. To give South Africa an edge that we maybe haven't had before. We've always been struggling for all-rounders, and now we have two experienced guys that can fill those roles. So I'm quite happy to see both of them actually play, and only play one spinner, in my opinion. Riley, Riza, Markram, Klaas, and Miller Stubbs should be the top six. Is Kani. Hardly if we deep think we won't actually play our best, huh? If we Hardly if we deep think, I don't know what you're saying there. We won't actually play our best 11 at the World Cup if things continue as they are. We're either going to miss out Riley or Riza. Don't see Vic dropping our openers. But it won't be, I don't think it will be Vic's decision. It will be Mark Boucher's decision with the leadership group to decide who starts the match. Vic would have picked the squad and the initial squad and make suggestions, but at the final decision, I think, goes to Mark Boucher and the team to decide who's going to play. Open with Riza and Klaasen, says Suraj. No point to play Shamsi against India. He cannot trouble Indian batsmen. Open with Riza and Klaasen, says Suraj again. I don't see Klaasen as an opening batter in T20 cricket. I'm sorry, Suraj. Even though you're saying that, and it might seem well in theory, but there's not enough proof for me to see that he can do that. Just because he strikes well in the middle order or at the end doesn't mean he can do it at the swinging new ball at the top of the order. So I'm not 100% convinced on that. I feel that the openers for South Africa should be those four. If they're going to pick anybody as a top order in the top slots, I think they need to decide between Temba Bavuma, Quinton de Kock, Riza Hendricks, and Riley Rousseau for the opening slots. If they're going to tamper with it at all, or mess with it at all, or tinker with it at all, is the word I'm looking for. Every team at the top, but SA have mediocre Bavuma at the top. There's a lot of dissing at Bavuma over here, guys. Maybe we should change the batting order. Riley to open and Quinton de Kock go down, or Riza to get that one down. That's also another option. Klassen still perform better in the Klassen to perform better than Quinton de Kock. Different positions though, bro. That's like me saying Rabada or Shamsi performs better than Rabada. It's completely two different positions. They play two different roles. Opening is the easiest position in white ball cricket. I do not think so. Just because of the power play, I do not think so. I think the power play actually fools you or dupes you into thinking that it's easy, and then you go for it and you go out. That's the whole point. I don't think it's the easiest. Really, I don't. In white ball cricket, opening is the hardest in any single format, I think. Since we're trying to combos, why not drop Quinton Cock and open with Riley? That's another option, I think. When it comes to combos, they won't drop Riley. They just got him back. No, I don't think they should drop Riley. I think Riley Rousseau is deadly. They should find a way how to fit him in every single time because he has an unbelievable ability to be able to beat that ball out the park and take the pressure and put it back on the opposition. So that number 3 and 4 slots, I think, is kind of set. 4, 5, and 6 for me is set. Although Stubbs and Klassen you can probably rotate and decide, or the extra all rounders that you have available to, you can mix around and try different things. Smash the like button, please, guys. Please, it really helps us if you smash that like button and subscribe if you're new. Please tell me, when is Pretorius? What has Pretorius done anything worthwhile or memorable for the Proteas ever? He has done a couple of things. He bowled quite well in the World Cup. He batted quite well in the one game that we performed. I think he does his job, what we need him to do. He might not be outstanding like maybe Ben Stokes, but he does his job in that role. Same thing is going to happen like last World Cup if we don't solve our openers set up the match. But how do we do that, guys? Just changing it. Will it work? I mean, how do we change it? I mean, if you were the coach right now, what would you do? Leave your comments in the comment section below. How do you get the best out of the Cock when he's in the form that he's in? Let's hear your opinions. What would your coaches do if you played cricket when you used to play cricket and you were out of form? How did your coaches get you back on form again? Because that's the hardest part about cricket. Babuma should... Okay, enough for reading. Quinton de Kock and Babuma does complement one another. To a certain extent. However, their form is questioned. And that's the problem. If they're both in form, then they complement each other perfectly. But now the problem is they're not in form. So they're forcing it at the moment. And so it's not really making it very easy on the eye. Do you think we should play Stubbs in the World Cup? I know he's a massive talent, but he's still inexperienced. He doesn't know much about match pressure. And that's true too. It's a very difficult decision that they're going to need to make. Stubbs wouldn't be a problem. And this is a consistency in all formats. Our younger players wouldn't have issues. It wouldn't be an issue if they don't perform from the get-go, if our senior players were pulling their weight, but they're not. It's our senior players that are letting us down. And it's hurtful. Two out of form openers is a disaster. At least one should be dropped. Yes, and that's true. They need to decide which one. Don't know about you, Khalid, but in my opinion, but the problem is dropping Quinny, then you need to also drop another player to bring in a... No, you don't actually, because you can just move everybody up the order. Okay, that's also true, Khalid, idiot. I don't know about you, Khalid, but in my opinion, playing two spinners against India isn't positive. They strive on spin. Even in Australia, I would rather 100% agree. Riza should open with Quinton de Kock. I want to see that in the next game, actually. I want to see what Riza can do with Quinton de Kock. For me, it's more important. It's important for Quinton de Kock to conform for me. I think it's very important to give ourselves a chance. Price tempo for T20 because team adopted. I mean, we can't really talk about players that are not in the squad right now. Let's talk about the players that are there. Shamsi also ordinary as well. I don't agree with that. Don't agree with that at all. I do rate Jonay Dawood, but I think he needs some time to show what he's capable of consistently because he hasn't necessarily had consistent seasons. Khalid, we will bitch and moan about our batters not being in form, yet when you do have a batter in form, exactly my point. And this is what irritates me, Lorenzo, because every time we listen to the press conferences and the players and the coaches and the selectors, they're always talking about form. picking the most informed domestic players, but if you're going to pick the most informed domestic players, you should pick also the most informed international players. It makes only more logical sense to do so. So it is quite strange that this is happening, that we're not sticking by our consistency and our word. We should we should be giving players that are in form, we should be rewarding them for the form, especially when they do record breaking stuff like Lisa Hendricks has done. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell for all future videos. We'll be back to you with a longer show tomorrow, obviously to review them, to preview the game. I'll try to get a panel on the show so we can discuss the next game, talk about how we want to line up and what we think going forward. So let's see what happens in the show tomorrow. I just wanted to continue this daily shows to bring you, even though there was no content really today, I wanted to keep the shows going. Of course, we do a daily show, so I want to continue that daily show. I've missed a couple and I don't like that. I know it's been because of my own health, for example, migraines I suffer from, and it put me out, and the load shedding schedule was messing us around with when I was trying to bring on guests, etc. So that has been tricky, but I'm trying my best, guys. So please support us. Smash the like button, please. I want to know in the comment section, what would you guys do for the next match with regard to Quinton de Kock? How do you get Quinton de Kock on form is the big question that I'm leaving you guys to leave in the comment section below. Not in the live chat, in the comment section below. How do you get Quinton de Kock back on form? Remember to do everything that I've asked you at the top of the show. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Become a Patreon. Follow us on Cricket Fanatics Mag monthly. Let's get straight into this, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another preview show. Take care, everybody. Speak to you very soon. Take care and enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out, guys. I don't know if you're gonna watch anything. I've been enjoying the Spider-Man channel on DSTV. I don't know what you guys are gonna be watching, but take care, everybody. See you soon. Peace out.